Okay, let's hit the fun topic, and that is the schools, the idea of an independent school district. Really, that's just kind of been a whisper for all the years I've lived here. I didn't used to believe that it was a good idea. After watching over the last few years, I may or may not be changing my mind, so let me just put it that way. But you have been very involved with CEAB, Community Education Advisory Board, school issues. So let's talk about the idea of an independent school district that is independent of the Clark County School District, and whether that would, be, for instance, Moapa and Virgin Valleys would combine into some kind of rural school district or whatever it looks like. But let's just go right to the meat of the issue.
Okay.
Cost. How would you pay for it? How would we pay for it? Every time I talk to people about this, and I'm talking about my neighbors and friends and stuff, the first thing they say is, boy, howdy, that's going to cost a lot, and I don't want my taxes going up.
Right.
So before anything, step one is figuring out feasibility from the standpoint of cost.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'll hand it to you for a few minutes.
So I think before we talk about cost, we have to talk about what the purpose of the idea is, why this is being formed. So what this would be, what I'm proposing is a bill that I've worked on with other attorneys. We're working with legislators today to get, and have been, to get this bill moved forward in this next legislative session. It would create an opt-out for all municipalities, townships, cities in Clark County and potentially other counties to leave their school district if they wanted to do so.
So this would not be just Mesquite and Virgin Valley. This would be Good Springs, Laughlin. Okay.
Correct. So it would not, and that's one of the big misconceptions is that this bill. So some folks have said, well, hey, Henderson tried this in the 90s, right? And it failed. Well, here's why it failed. Henderson's bill attempted to break up the Clark County School District. That's not what this would do. Clark County School District would continue to exist and serve residents of Clark County that are within that school district. If certain communities wanted to opt out and create their own district, they would be able to do that under a managed plan through the State Department of Education, not getting permission of CCSD, because, right, what are they going to say, right? Yeah. No, you can't leave.
Well, they just did that with our reopen place. So just getting that leverage, the only language, and I say this a lot, the only language CCSD speaks is money. They do not speak the language of student achievement. They do not speak the language of good teachers. They do not speak the language of closing the achievement gap or helping our 30% of our students in this valley who are English language learners learn English so that they can then learn the substantive stuff they need to have a good life and get along well in the world. They don't speak any of that. They speak the language of money. And so by being able to opt out immediately, whether we form our own district or not, we have immense leverage in working with Clark County School District because that threat of potentially leaving now is on the table, and we can do that. The services, and I served on my daughter. We have, as you know, I have a little girl that has special needs, and she attends Bowler Elementary School. And the reason for that is in our valley, if you are a special needs student at the elementary school level, if you have autism, you go to Virgin Valley Elementary School. If you have anything else, doesn't matter what it is, you go to Jail Bowler Elementary School. And then you're lumped together in a self-contained classroom. Wonderful teachers, wonderful specialists. I can't say enough good about the great things those people do.
we do not have the resources out here to take care of our students. We've been arguing for that for years, and the school district just ignores us. They do. We have great educators and experts in this valley who know how districts should run. One thing I've come across more than anything on the campaign trail are people coming to me, telling me I spent a lifetime in education, I've worked for universities. I had a guy at an event last night who worked for Texas A&M University, just recently retired to our community. This was his life's work, was building small independent school districts, breaking away from large, and he said, Mesquite is absolutely able to do this. Now to get directly to your point on the money, if we go the route of creating our own district, if we did that, so step one is just getting the leverage, right? Getting the bill passed, having the leverage.
Yeah.
I think immediately we'll see an improvement in our school services. If we don't, and we say, hey, it's time to become our own district, and the community decides that's the right thing, first of all, the bill that I'm proposing, it's a managed process. It's not just like we're our own district today, right? Council doesn't just get to vote and it happens. We have to go through a process. We have to make sure it's financially feasible. I would submit that it is. In 2019, and I worked with state legislators on this, they reworked the funding formula for education in Nevada. We moved away from the old Nevada plan, which made no sense. And we now have a system that takes direct funding from the state. We have a rural rider. There's an extra bump that you get if you're a rural district, which right now we don't get at all because we're part of Clark County School District, but we should be getting in our community. And then you look at the property tax dollars. Roughly in between 43 and 50% of our property tax dollars go directly to Clark County School District, and that's how they fund themselves. When we start looking at our property tax dollars here locally, even though we have very low property taxes, you start looking at what you pay and you add that up with, start aggregating that amongst your neighbors. And then you start comparing those to the strategic budgets. Those are the budgets that come down from the school district and they say, this is what your school needs to operate. Pretty quickly, we're closing that gap and we're ahead of it in many cases. What our per pupil funding is, what we need. And then we're also taking out all these absurd programs that our students, and I say students because that is who's paying for it, our students are paying for in Las Vegas. One of the mind-boggling things to me when I sat on the J.O. Bowler Elementary School SOT, school organizational team, was that we were paying money for opportunity schools. Those are behavioral schools in the Las Vegas Valley. First of all, elementary school students not even eligible to attend. Second, even if our middle school and high school students would be eligible to attend, the district won't pay for the transportation for them to go down there. So we're paying into that program out here in our valley, and we were debating how to use the marijuana funds that come from the city in order to pay for books for kids. That is where we are at in our community. We're figuring out how to pay for books and curriculum, basic things. And that is the hard thing. And I encourage folks, attend your school organizational team meetings, attend CAP. When you start looking into this and learning stuff, it's very hard not to say something drastic needs to be done, but plausible. And that is what my plan would do.
Okay. Okay.